The only thing what upset me, this is from the police, we had a tzula here around, now my car was parked here, suddenly from the far there, 5 people with big flashlights screamed, "Police, stop!"
Wait, show me your hands! Show me your hands! Don't move!
Now, who said it's police? They didn't wear yellow jackets, they wear black. They came with these big guns. And they came and arrested us. And don't move. I said, do you think this look like I did this? We're from Atula, I was inside here.
Don't get him in the car. I'm the one who called. Yeah.
Why you not running?
Because I'm scared. I'm scared.
It took them a while to realise that we're Jewish and we didn't do this.
It took them a while to realise you're Jewish.
Yeah, it took them a while to realise that, maybe you didn't do it.
What eventually gave it away to the detectives that you're Jewish?
What does it look like?
Yemini for Rebel News outside the Adas Israel Synagogue, which was firebombed overnight, taking about 60 firefighters 45 minutes to take control of the blaze. We're here today to speak to the locals and find out what's going on and to hold the politicians who are coming here to take photo ops accountable for their inaction over the last year.
What happened was I was sitting and learning. I was Mava Sedra, you know what that means? Going through the Sedra, and I heard a big bang with a sledgehammer. I looked on the door, and I thought to myself, is that the door? Then suddenly I had another bang. Glass started flying next to me. It was just a couple of meters away. So I just jumped out of my seat and I ran. When I came back to the hall, after talking to the police, I smelled some fire. I thought, shit, they're burning the place down. It wasn't that hot yet, so I opened the door to go inside to get my phone and my tefillin. But I burnt my hands doing that, so I decided I'm not going to go in. And when I came out, I saw another person out here and said he saw them. They went inside with jerry cans, big cans of petrol or something, and he screamed at them and they ran away.
We believe it has been targeted. What we don't know is why, and we'll get to the why. I'm here in the capacity as the officer in charge of the Arson Explosive Squad to give that reassurance to the community that we will do everything we can to bring these individuals before the courts.
How confident are you that you'll find a motive? Because it's been a year since Hashtaya's shop. We still don't have the motive there.
Well, as confident as one can be after a long time in the police force, we can always hope. I can't guarantee. We'll do our best.
Protesters for a year have insisted that it's not about Jews, it's about Zionism. This is not a Zionist synagogue. Why do you think they attacked this synagogue?
Well, when people say globalise the Intifada, I think this is what they mean.
A lot of those protesters say that you're safe if you're not a Zionist Jew. No. Do you feel safe being a non-Zionist Jew?
No, not at all.
Why do you think they targeted this synagogue? Because it is not a Zionist synagogue.
Jews are Jews.
So they're anti-Jews, not anti-anything else, anti-Jews. And that's not the way of Australian.
This attack happened less than a week after a protest outside a synagogue here, only 2 kilometres away. What would you say to people in this community who don't feel that Victoria Police are doing enough to protect them?
Well, that's sad to hear. I mean,
Truth.
the people...
That's the truth.
Okay, I mean...
People have been attacked here. You haven't taken it. Why don't you put someone in here over here?
Ask me a question. I'm trying to answer the question. We're doing our best.
They did it in COVID, yeah.
They cared about you in COVID?
Yeah. They cared a lot about us in COVID. They don't care about us now. You should bring the horses, the mounted police, should bring the helicopters, they should bring everything. They're not doing that because they don't really care about us.
Can you understand how that's the sentiment around this community? Because less than a week ago there were protests that were outside a synagogue and now a synagogue's been firebombed.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is I'm here today to tell you we will do our best. We'll do our very best. I can't give you any more than that.
I now invite Daniel Aguillon to step up and say a few words on behalf of Josh Burns, who's lost his voice.
Are you worried with the escalation of anti-Semitism in the last year?
Am I personally worried? I mean, of course. And, we are doing our best.
Mr. Burns, what would you say to people in the community, spokesmen that blame the Labor Party for appeasing the anti-Jewish sentiment, that Jew hatreds, the mobs that were protesting last week outside of a synagogue? What would you say to people in the community?
I don't think Josh is in a position to answer. I don't think Daniel's in a position to answer for him.
How you doing, Bill? Just quickly, there are a large part of the Jewish community that actually blames the state and federal Labor Party for what's happened here today. What would you...
Well, I don't buy that.
That's ridiculous. But this shocking scene of domestic terrorism is not just an assault on the Jewish community, it's an assault on Australia.
Is it a suspected terrorist attack?
No.
Not at all? So an attack on a synagogue you don't think indicates potential terrorism?
No, we're not going to rule.
No one is around.
We're not going to rule anything in and out. It's early days. It's 4 hours. All right. The investigation has just begun.
But a lot of the Jewish community does say that the Labor Party has let them down over the last year and a half, or since October 7. They've allowed it to get to this stage. Why do you think that that's a ridiculous claim?
Because we don't know who did this, but I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. But I'm here because I support the community.
It's very simple. You've got Josh Burns, who's a Jew, who's a member of the Labor Party, comes here, puts a kippah on, and just walks away. There's just nothing at all. I mean, for heaven's sake, get him to go to his leader and do something about this. I mean, we've been saying for months and months and months that something's going to happen.
Josh, a couple of the rabbis...
Avi, come on.
Now you got your voice back. You got your voice back.
Right.
Jacinta ran away, but at least you're a man. You be a man. But at least he's got a kippah on today. Josh, I'm sure you didn't put tefillin on. They must have got burnt in the fire. I got it. Are you not worried about the direction your party's gone in, especially since October 7, and the fact that they weren't able to keep the Jewish community, whether it's here in Melbourne? This is the second time in a week, the third time in a week, a synagogue in Australia has been attacked. There was Caulfield over the weekend, there was Sydney a few days ago, and now it's a firebombing. Most Jews here could tell you they saw it coming a mile away, and they've begged the government, both state and federal, to help them, and the help hasn't come.
Well, I'm here today just to express my support.
I think banning protests outside synagogues is a good start, because we've seen 2 in the last week, and this is a clear escalation.
It's astonishing to me that anybody thinks that it's a good idea to protest outside a synagogue or any other place of worship. It should not be tolerated in Australia that you can have a protest outside a synagogue. And unfortunately, we have seen that many times over the last year. A year ago, Caulfield Shul, not far from here, was evacuated on Friday night on police advice because they feared for the safety of the occupants because of a menacing protest that was outside. Now, when that's allowed to happen, when there are no consequences for that, don't be surprised when people are emboldened. They become more extreme, not less. And we have events like we've seen this morning.
To me, this is our Kristallnacht. And for the Jews who think this is a one-off, I can assure you under Labor, Greens, Teals, socialism, they incite violence against us. They hate Jews and don't believe it stops here. That's all I can say.
When you're trying to understand what's actually happening in Melbourne, nothing demonstrates it more than a Greens candidate, the biggest amplifiers of Jew hatred in Australia at the moment, literally was watching as the synagogue was burning.
That's quite funny.
The irony of that, no? That an anti-Semitic party watched as the shul burned. There's no other candidate on any other window here.
It is ironic.
Do you feel like the government's doing enough for the Jewish community?
Not yet, no.
Are you hoping this will change it?
I hope it'll change the attitude of the general population here, that there's something wrong in this country at the moment, and it's got to stop.
What is it that you think is wrong?
This anti-Semitism.
I think people say, we need new laws, We have laws, and they're not being enforced.
Police say they don't suspect terrorism. Do you buy that?
Well, it's not for me to do a running commentary on police. They should be allowed to conduct their investigation. But I absolutely understand why members of this synagogue, why members of this community fear exactly that has happened to them. That's exactly what they have feared would happen to them for the last 12 months. They've been living in a climate of fear. We need to do much more to support them to make sure this is a safe and secure country for everyone.
Penny Wong promoted terrorism, and this is the result that we have now. Maybe it's time for her to resign for what she's done to the Jewish community and to the Australian fabric.
There's no excuse for anyone in this country to bring an argument from somewhere else and do this shit.
Sure.
I don't care how moral.
I agree with you, and I think most of the community agrees with you, but do you not believe that some of the policies and the shifts in policy where they're clearly shifting their policy so that they can, I guess, appease Western Sydney voters, you don't believe that that's true?
I don't think it's as simple as that.
Well, it talks to himself. We all know at the end of the day, the people who are at fault starts from the Prime Minister and going to the Foreign Minister.
One thing's crystal clear. Jews are no longer safe in Melbourne, Australia in 2024. So I've started a petition, protectthejews.com.au. Put your name down, be counted. If you stand with the Jewish community going into the new year, sign and share the petition, protectthejews.com.au.
We came here, we lived together with the Greeks, the Italians, and we're all friends at school. Still are friends. I had a factory, I had people working for me, and we're all good. And all of a sudden, there's an element that's come to Australia, and I hope they're not letting them in again. Because they're letting in a lot now. Why? We don't know why.
We're all Australians here. We might have family, our religion might be Jewish, but we still feel for everyone else. And our motto is live and let live. We respect everyone else, respect everyone else's religion. We don't cause any issues, any problems, and we're just disappointed this happened to us. And it's going to sort of upset us and rock the boat very immensely.
Police with community members now entering the neighbouring synagogue, part of the same building, but the second synagogue, the one that wasn't actually firebombed itself, to see what they can salvage, and they're bringing out religious artefacts, people's personal religious belongings, and also the holy Torah scrolls.
These are safe, these are good, Baruch Hashem. Thank God, these are good. The Torah is something very sacred to us. It's a Bible where we read it twice a week, and then we read it also on the Sabbath and also on the high holidays. To us, this is very holy. If this falls on the floor, we will be fasting.
For how long?
For 24 hours.
And if it got burnt, what's...
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'll probably have to ask somebody else to answer that one.
You can't see.
Was he worried about his stuff?
Yeah, have a look, He's happy.
Well, there's a big smile on your face when you...
Well, for sure. And I was happy that he took it out for me. Very important. As you see, everybody's come here just to get that.
Would you like it, please?
What is it?
Sponge cake from Hamish.
From Hamish. Do I give it a review?
Yeah, why not?
But is it fair that I'm so hungry? Hamish sponge cake.
Okay.
You know what I love at Hamish?
What?
They don't make enough of it. Is the apple Danish
Oh, yeah.
with that certain pastry, the like puff pastry.
Usually only on Fridays, yeah.
They only make a few. I always have to call in. It's beautiful.
Would you like it, please?
He said you actually got your kiddish stuff because you've had six. This is your sixth child.
Yeah, who said?
He just told me.
He did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for this sergeant said I should be able to get it, but they're waiting for fire department to approve this room.
The Kiddush is safe. Look at this. Ice pops. You want some ice pops? You're going to put it in the freezer?
Yeah, go down in the freezer.
Careful. Stop.
You can tell what kind of driver he is. Do you have your ticket thing? Well, port. No, there's no ticket. What happened?
You write me a ticket?
I tried to get him to give you a ticket. Is the Kiddush happening?
The Kiddush is going to happen.
Where?
We don't stop with anti-Semitism. Doesn't stop us. We're going to keep it going. Now it's a bit smoky.
Oh, that's smoky. That's smoky already,
No, it is
isn't it?
smoky.
Oh. Officer, he wants to have a drink with you to celebrate his sixth child. You're not in?
Congratulations on the sixth child, but I'm not having a drink. No.
I've spoken to him off camera. He's coming.
Is he celebrating? You're celebrating this?
He's coming after the party.
Do you think the drink is to celebrate or to be able to deal with the sixth child?
I'm not commenting, right? I'm not commenting.
Come on,
There's
officer.
a crowd here. Ask one of these guys.
Guys, are you celebrating the Kiddush tonight? You going to the Kiddush? Oh, tomorrow. How you doing, sir?
Good, Avi, how are you?
Thank you. I love how we're on first name basis. Would you like a whiskey? He's just had his sixth child. I've got to give you context. He's just had his sixth child, and he claims he's drinking out of happiness, but some of us are suspicious, because if I was having a sixth child today, I would also have a lot to drink. Not Black Label. Wait, give me the one you had before.
I don't blame them now for not wanting a drink.
Yeah.
Turn your lid
Yeah.
upside down.
But you got to do one with me.
I'll do it after you. See, this is you'd make the most out of nothing.
L'chaim for the sixth child. Mazel tov, mazel tov.
Thank you. Simchas. Now you be blessed with many more children.
No, you got to have one. Otherwise, it's.
No, not on camera.
Why not on camera? On camera.
Not on camera.
We want your sixth child to know that you celebrated.
Oh, shut up.
The sixth child, that's it.
You just drank from that.
No, what's the problem? You worried that alcohol killed it?
But you like CSG?
What a waste of good whiskey.
Sanitized.
L'chaim. Sixth child.
He's going to host the Kiddush.
Mazel tov, mazel tov.
Thank you.
So where is the Kiddush at the end of the day?
I'll let you know. You come by walk, not by car.
Chas v'sholom by car, not CSG.
You are CSG.
The Premier has just arrived. What would you say to a big proportion of the Jewish community that blame you personally for not acting on anti-Semitism properly until now. For the last year, we've seen this. We've seen protests outside synagogue. Even in the last week, it's taken a synagogue to be burned down for you to come here and make a statement.
Well, over the past 14 months, we have seen how conflict, and this is something that is conflict over the past 14 months, has brought conflict to the streets of Melbourne, the streets of Sydney, to many parts of the Western world. And my focus over that period of time has been to support members of the Jewish community who I know from speaking to so many personally are grieving that conflict in the Middle East, as so many other people around the world are.
Why haven't you done anything for the year and a half till this happened? Why did it have to take a burning of a synagogue?
My focus today is on supporting the Jewish community.
But why should the Jew...
Avi, can I just ask a quick question? Jacinta, you mentioned that you're going to increase police patrols and you're going to increase your presence. Is that not a sign that you've lost control in this state and the Jewish community are now under real threat, and that your government has ultimately failed? And let's be clear, in November 2023, there was an attack in the synagogue, and the Summary Offences Act gave Victoria Police the ability to charge them under that act, a very low threshold, but you didn't use it. And had you done that, we wouldn't be here today. So let's stop with the politics, and let's get a short, sharp, straight answer. Have you lost control? Have you lost control, yes or no?
I will take advice from Victoria Police. It would be deeply inappropriate.
You played politics, and this is the consequence.
Premier, why should the Jewish community... Premier, why should the Jewish community...
Can we just calm down? Yeah, thank you. Can we just take our time?
Premier...
Questions? Excuse me, sir. Thank you.
It's okay. She's the Premier. I think she can handle it. So, Premier, why should Jews now trust that you're going to keep them safe when you failed a year and a half?
Can you just step
I
back
understand she doesn't want to answer it.
No, the cameras.
I don't know who you are. We understand the questions got tough, but how can the Jewish community believe that you're going to keep them safe when you failed for a year and a half? Jacinta, we understand it's easier to run away, but what would you say to the Jewish community for them to believe that you could keep them safe since you failed them for a year and a half? Look at that. What are you doing? Why are you blocking my way, mate? Jacinta, why are you running away from the tough question? Why are you running away? Like a coward. No Jew can believe you're going to keep him safe. You came for a photo op. She came here for a photo op. She got the photo op, but members of the Jewish community asked legitimate questions and she failed them. She's not going to keep any Jews safe. She wants to get voted back in. That is the Victorian Premier. If you think it's important for the world to see the truth about what's going on here in Melbourne, Australia, and real media actually holding the Premier accountable, those in charge who have failed for so long, make sure to like, comment, but most importantly, share it far and wide, because as you can see, the mainstream media's questions were friendly. Puff pieces, essentially. So it's up to you to get the truth out there. And then head over to protectthejews.com.au. Be counted. Sign and share the petition. Let people know that you stand with the Jews of Australia going in to 2025. protectthejews.com.au.